guys, Kevin with UC Clearly. Want to talk to you a little bit about PowerShell. And if you are creating, editing, maintaining PowerShell scripts and you have not discovered CloudBridge, this video is something that you want to watch. If you're creating and editing PowerShell scripts, there's a good chance you're using ISE or something like that, VS Code or another editor, and you're creating your scripts and you're probably running them manually. You maybe have them scheduled. You've saved them to the file system. Maybe you've got them saved to a file server. Maybe you're even using runbooks in the cloud. But point is, when you go to run, you're going to be prompted with credentials here. First major problem is that I had to click a run button and it's not easy to get this scheduled. Second is I got to put in a user ID, and that's a security risk, right? Now I have to know the credentials. And that just leads to proliferation of credentials. If we have multiple people that need to do PowerShell, then that means that you need to pass credentials around. Never a good thing. Let me go ahead and put in my credentials and let's see if I can get this to run. If I go ahead and run, no, I got a problem. So bad password. Well, let's try again. Like that. There we go. Now I got it to run. So out it goes. It pulls back all of this data for me from Office 365. These are a list of all my users. And that's great. It ran, it's successful. But what do I do with this? So you might say, well, if you do an out grid view, rerun it. Oh, put your credentials in again. Rerun it, and boom, I've got this nice grid. And it's great, right? The grid view is really, really good. It makes this data very easy to consume. I'm able to sort, filter, all sorts of stuff. But what do I do with it? So yes, I can look through it and I can find something. But what do I do with this data? Let me show you what this looks like in CloudBridge. I'm going to take this exact same script. I'm going to get rid of the out grid view because I don't need that. So I'm just going to copy this and let's go over to CloudBridge. So CloudBridge is a PowerShell execution engine in the cloud for building IT operations, portal solutions, all kinds of automations, a whole bunch of things. There's a whole series of videos on CloudBridge, and there's webinars and so on that we can get you up to speed on what you can do with CloudBridge. But basically what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go in and create a new folder. Now, first of all my scripts, everything, it's all in one place. I don't have to go hunting around for it. Everything is in one place. There's my new folder, and I can name that folder if I want. And I'm basically going to go in and say, create a new script. And this is my ISE demo script. And I'm going to go in and paste my script into my script editor window. That's it. It runs standard PowerShell and it runs in the cloud. I don't even need a machine to run it on. Next thing is, remember whenever I ran it in ISE, I needed to provide credentials. Well, here I can just say, use these credentials. We have something called Connect IDs, which are secure containers for credentials. These are credentials that are stored in Key Vault. They're accessible to all your scripts and folders, and there's a whole bunch of controls around it. This can even go on-prem, so I can have credentials that reach out to an agent on-prem and run all this PowerShell on-prem. But I'm going to go in here and just say, use these credentials. I know these credentials are going to work because there's a validation. If I go into here, I can go into that. I can validate the credentials, clicking verify, and it's all stored securely. And I happen to have the owner role coming in here, so I can do a lot of this stuff, but I could give somebody else a developer role where they can come in, they can create the scripts and stuff, they can associate these Connect IDs, but they can't see the Connect ID contents. Now let's take this and run it. So I get a prompt. Yes, I do want to run it. Let's go see what happens. So away it goes. It's running. It's being dispatched. We have a whole framework in behind in the cloud, all built on Azure, that is running that script in a secure container, your secure container, not shared with anybody else. And that will run. And within a second or two, we'll see results come back. And then let's take a look at what we can do with those results and how it differs from dealing with regular PowerShell. So that's running. While that's running, let's go take a look at a couple of other things in here. So we looked at the Connect ID. There's a lot of other stuff I can do in here. I can schedule right from here. I can say, run this script on these days at these times, every 15 minutes, every hour, or whatever. I can go in and I can tell it to truncate my data. Don't retain the data. This thing keeps history for you. Every time you run it, it keeps track of all of the data. It'll do automatic comparison of data from one sample to the next. It version controls your script. Every time you run it, it creates a stamp of your script and keeps a version control of a version copy of it. You'll never lose a script because you made a change and ran it and then go back and think, well, it was working before and it's not now. What happened? You never have that happen. You can take and you can put permissions on this. You can delegate this to somebody. I'm just noticing now that it completed. There's no errors, work done. Let's go look at the results. So similar to the out grid view, you see that I get this grid full of data and I can do things like say group on is licensed. I can filter on anything I want. I can go in and say, let's find Kevin in there. That's me. And there's my accounts in there. So I can get to what I want really quickly, really easily. Now I can take this, I can rename that to whatever I want. So let's go in and just say that I want this to be a list of users. Let's say this is 0365 users. Save changes. And maybe what I want to do now is create another view on this. Let's go in and create a new view. This one I'm going to say it's based upon the 0365 users one, but I'm going to say this is unlicensed users. And I can even show it in the tree as a subnode if I want. Watch that. So click save. And boom, you've got now a subnode in the tree. I see unlicensed users. There they are. Now I'm going to put a filter on that. I'm going to say is licensed is false. And we're going to, of course, clear that filter that is only showing me. Hit enter. And now I have a list of unlicensed users. I just save this now, and boom, I've got an unlicensed user list. Now I want to take that and give it to somebody. Take that, share it. I can now create a URL directly to that data. Somebody can come in and look at that data. I can email a version of that data to somebody. I can download this data. Look at this. Download, export as CSV, export as Excel. There's so much that you can do with this, and we're just scratching the very tip of the iceberg here. Let me show you what our engineers have done with CloudBridge Platform with a little bit of ingenuity and some PowerShell, and nothing more than PowerShell. So here's that same thing, Office 365, and we go to our users here. You'll see we've all kinds of things. So not only can we get data, but we can also, and it would help if I went to the right script. I don't have data for that one. Let's go to a different one. Let's go to here. So this is actually, this is another part of the product. I can take these things and I can delegate them out to my help desk, to different staff members. I can work together in a team of developers, and I can take different parts of my solution that I create, and I can create tiles and share them with other people. I can put icons on it, change colors, all that stuff. Now I'm looking at this solution, and if I go in here and look, it's actually, if I just hover, you can see it's shared with me by a fellow named Pratap Singh, and his role is, or sorry, my role is owner. He's given me owner access, which means that I can manipulate permissions. Let's go down to users and take a look at what he's done with this. I'm going to just go in here and let's move this out of the way. So this is the same thing we saw with that simple script, but now I can go in and say, maybe I want to take, let's go to department and say, show me everybody in sales. Now I can take those people and I can do right click and I can say, create a distribution group for those people, or create a new Office 365 group, or I want to look them up. I want to find out what groups these people are a member of. I want to be able to go and modify these users. So just, you notice that we've got things like hyperlinks. I can go in and I can go directly into the properties for that user, and I can make modifications, click save. So guys, again, we're just scratching the surface here in terms of what you can do with this product. This is truly paradise for PowerShell guys in an IT world. This takes your PowerShell, turns you into a superstar. You now have cloud portal solutions that you can build with just the PowerShell that you know. Everything I just showed you, none of it was done outside of the scope of PowerShell. It's entirely in CloudBridge and PowerShell. So I hope this has been informative. Guys, try it out. Come talk to us. Sign up for an account. We'll help you out. We'll get you started. Bunch of training videos to get you going. But you can literally just take PowerShell from the cloud, paste it in here, put some credentials, and get going with it. Then you can start to build on it, build all these fancy actions. There's all kinds of things you can do. There's a time travel bar. I can see changes over time. All kinds of things this is going to do for you. It's going to make you a superstar inside of your company when they see what you can do with this. Look forward to working with you guys. Thanks for watching.